My beloved child, I am reaching out to you across the vastness of time and space, yet I am as close to you as the very breath that sustains your lungs. I have seen the quiet battles you fight when the world is asleep, and the shadows in the corners of your room seem to whisper of old fears and familiar pains. I know the weight of the name you carry, and the history that flows through your veins like an ancient, winding river. For too long, you have felt that your destiny was written in the ink of your ancestors' struggles, that the patterns of their lives, the sicknesses that took them too soon, the anxieties that clouded their minds, and the financial storms that never seemed to clear, were a map you were forced to follow. But I am the author of life, and today I have come to take the pen and begin a new chapter in the story of your lineage. I am the great physician, and my laboratory is the sanctuary of your soul and the intricate machinery of your cells. I am looking deep into your DNA, into the very blueprint of your existence, and I am identifying every strand of sorrow and every sequence of suffering that was passed down to you through the generations. I see the genetic markers that have caused you to worry, those tiny instructions that have told your body to be weak where I created it to be strong. I am reaching into those microscopic spaces with fingers of light, and I am beginning a divine rewriting. I am washing your bloodline in the waters of my grace, cleansing the legacy of your fathers and mothers of every trace of the darkness they endured. You were not born to be a repeat of the past. You were born to be the manifestation of my glory. Feel the warmth of my presence as it begins at the crown of your head and moves slowly, deliberately, down through your entire being. It is a golden fire that does not consume, but purifies. It is melting away the shackles of inherited anxiety, that trembling in your spirit that you could never quite explain, that sense of impending doom that haunted your grandmother and was handed down to you like a heavy heirloom. I am replacing it with a peace that surpasses all human understanding, a stillness so profound that it will act as an anchor for your soul no matter how the winds of life may blow. I am also looking at the record of lack and scarcity that has plagued your family tree. I see the roots of poverty and the fear of not enough that has stifled the dreams of those who came before you. Today, I am uprooting those weeds of lack and planting seeds of divine abundance. I am opening the windows of heaven over your household, and I am declaring that the cycle of financial struggle ends with you. You will no longer look at your future through the lens of limitation, but through the lens of my infinite supply. I am bringing miracles into your home that will make you stand in awe of my power. I am healing the physical conditions that have been called hereditary, for no earthly decree can stand against my word. If I say you are whole, you are whole. If I say you are free, you are free. I am rebuilding the walls of your health, strengthening your heart, clearing your mind, and restoring the vitality that was stolen by the thief of generational illness. You are the chosen link in your family chain that I am making of gold. You are the one who will stand in the gap and say, "No more." And as I heal you, I am reaching back into the past and forward into the future, touching the lives of those you love and those who will come after you. Your children will walk on the path you are clearing today, a path free of the thorns that tripped you. They will inherit a legacy of health, a legacy of courage, and a legacy of divine favor. Do not let your heart be troubled, my precious one. The loneliness that has felt like a family trait is being dissolved in the warmth of my companionship. I am with you in the morning light, I am with you in the heat of the day, and I am with you when the stars come out to watch over your sleep. You are never, ever alone. I am knitting together the broken pieces of your spirit, making you a vessel of my light. Imagine the cells of your body as tiny lanterns, and imagine me walking through the corridors of your being, lighting each one. Where there was darkness, where there was an error in the code, I am bringing the perfect light of my truth. The doctors may have given it a name, they may have pointed to your ancestry, but I have a name for you that is above every other name. My beloved, I am speaking to the very atoms of your heart, telling them to beat with the rhythm of my grace. I am speaking to your mind, commanding the storms of worry to be still. You will find that the things that once triggered your fear no longer have power over you. You will find that the opportunities that were once blocked are now swinging wide open. This is the year of your restoration. This is the day of your deliverance. I am not a God who is far off, watching from a distance. I am the God who is intimately involved in every detail of your life. I know the hairs on your head and the desires of your heart. I am moving obstacles out of your way that you didn't even know were there. I am bringing people into your life who will support you and lift you up, ending the seasons of isolation. Look forward with hope, for the best days of your life are not behind you, they are unfolding right now. The healing of your family line is not a slow process in my eyes, it is a finished work. Walk in this confidence. Let your walk be lighter and your smile be brighter, for the King of Kings has intervened on your behalf. Every time you feel a pang of the old doubt, remember my words, it is finished. The debt of the past is paid, and the inheritance of the future is secured. You are a new creation. As the sun rises on this new day, let the realization of my love wash over you like a gentle tide. Every cell in your body is a testament to my creativity, and every pulse of your heart is a whisper of my promise. I'm not only healing your physical being, but I am also mending the tattered edges of your emotional history. The moments of rejection, the seasons where you felt unseen, and the times when you cried out in the middle of the night, I was there, collecting every tear. Those tears are now the seeds of your joy. I am turning your mourning into dancing and your heaviness into a garment of praise. Your family will look at you and see a light they cannot explain, a strength that does not come from human effort. You will be the living proof that my grace is sufficient and my power is made perfect in weakness. Do not look back at the broken altars of your ancestors. Look forward to the temple I am building in you. This healing is deep, it is thorough, and it is everlasting. It is the restoration of all that was lost and the multiplication of all that is good. I am your provider, your protector, and your ultimate source of life. Rest now in the hollow of my hand, knowing that the work is being done even as you sleep. You are cherished, you are valued, and you are spectacularly made. My love for you is the constant in a changing world, the light that never fails and the power that heals all. Go forth in this strength, for I am with you always, even unto the end of the age. Your victory is assured, and your healing is complete. As the sun rises over the horizon of your history, I am recalibrating the very rhythm of your existence. Notice the stillness in your hands today, the way they no longer carry the frantic vibration of generations past. I am reaching into the dark corners of the family library, closing the heavy, dusty books of infirmity that have been handed down from father to son and mother to daughter. Those chapters are finished. The ink has dried on the last page of sorrow, and I am handing you a pen of light to begin a new volume. I see the way you used to look at the old photographs on the mantelpiece, the faded images of those who carried the same heavy gait, the same cloud behind their eyes. You saw a prophecy in their faces, a predetermined path of decline. But I tell you, I have diverted the river. The genetic stream that once carried the silt of ancient burdens is now being filtered by my very breath. I am standing in the midst of your cellular structure, speaking peace to the atoms. Where there was a misalignment, I am bringing divine order. Where there was a missing signal, I am restoring communication. You are not a victim of chance or a prisoner of biology. You are a masterpiece in the middle of a glorious renovation. Feel the warmth spreading through your joints, like honey poured into a parched vessel. This is not a fleeting comfort, but the slow, methodical work of reconstruction. Think of the garden your great-grandmother tended, the one she eventually left behind because her strength failed her. I am restoring that strength in you, not just for the sake of labor, but for the sake of joy. I want you to walk through the tall grass without the fear of falling. I want you to lift your arms to the sky and feel only the lightness of the air, not the weight of 1,000 ancestors' sighs. I am healing the memory of your blood. It remembers the winters of scarcity and the springs of sickness, but I am teaching it to remember my abundance. Even the way you process the air you breathe is changing. Your lungs are expanding with a capacity you didn't know you possessed, taking in the oxygen of my spirit. The nervous system that was once a tangled web of what-ifs and inherited anxieties is being smoothed out, fiber by fiber. I am the great architect, and I am correcting the foundation. You may have felt like a house built on shifting sand, waiting for the storm that took your elders to take you as well. But I have driven the pilings deep into the rock. The storms will come, but they will find a structure they cannot shake. I'm also tending to the quiet spaces of your home. Do you notice how the light hits the floorboards differently now? It is because the atmosphere of dread has been replaced by the fragrance of hope. You will find yourself humming melodies that your mother forgot, songs of deliverance that were lost in the noise of survival. I am bringing back the laughter that was silenced by the diagnosis, the playfulness that was buried under the weight of medical bills and whispered prayers. This healing is a multi-generational embrace. As I touch you, I am touching the ones who came before you in the spirit, and I am touching the ones who will come after you in the flesh. Your children and your children's children will walk in a freedom they will take for granted, never knowing the chains that once bound their lineage. They will think it is natural to be strong, normal to be whole, and that is my gift to you, the privilege of being the one where the curse stopped and the blessing exploded. Do not be afraid of the transformation. Sometimes, as I rearrange the old structures, you might feel a strange disorientation, a sense of shedding a skin that was too tight but familiar. Let it go. That old identity was a garment of mourning, and it no longer fits the person you are becoming. I am dressing you in the silk of my favor. I am placing a ring of authority on your finger. You are the steward of this new health, the guardian of this renewed vitality. When you look in the mirror, look past the surface. See the radiance of a soul that has been kissed by the Creator. See the clarity in your eyes, a reflection of a mind that is no longer clouded by the fog of inherited despair. I am with you in the mundane moments, when you are folding the laundry, when you are stirring the soup, when you are walking to the mailbox. My healing is not just for the sanctuary, it is for the kitchen and the garden. It is for the long drives and the quiet afternoons. I am woven into the fabric of your day, ensuring that every movement is an act of worship and every breath is a declaration of my goodness. We are just beginning this journey of restoration. There are depths of wellness you have yet to explore, heights of energy you have yet to scale. Lean into me. Let my strength be the trellis upon which your life grows. You are blossoming, my love, and the fragrance of your healing will draw others to the source. They will ask how you changed, and you will simply smile, for the answer is written in the very marrow of your bones. I am yours, and you are mine, and together, we are making all things new. I am erasing the genetic whispers of lack that told your ancestors they were never enough. I am replacing those echoes with the thunder of my yes over your life. Every time you stand tall, you are honoring the dreams they had to defer. Every time you run without tiring, you are carrying their unfulfilled hopes into the light of the present. I am the God of the living, and I am making you more alive than you have ever been. The fatigue that once settled into your bones by midday is being replaced by a resilient energy that renews itself from a source hidden in me. You will find that your mind is sharper, your focus clearer, and your heart more capacious. I am widening the horizons of your soul. The boundaries that were set by family history, the limits on how far you could go, how much you could achieve, and how happy you could be are being dissolved. There is no fence around the field I have given you. Walk to the edges, then keep walking. I am expanding your territory, not just on the map of the world, but on the map of your own heart. I see the tears you shed for the ones who didn't see this day, the ones who succumbed to the shadows before the dawn broke. I am holding those tears, and I am turning them into the rain that will water your new harvest. Your life is the fruit of their endurance and my mercy. You are the blooming of a seed that was planted in hope centuries ago. I am the gardener who never forgot the seed. I am the light that finally broke through the soil. Rest in the knowledge that this work is sovereign. It does not depend on your perfection, only on your surrender. Let me continue the deep weaving. Let me align the stars of your internal universe until every cell reflects the glory of the heavens. We are walking together into a day that has no end, a health that has no shadow, and a love that has no limits. As we walk, observe how the very air around you seems to vibrate with a frequency you have never felt before. I am peeling back the layers of heavy inheritance, those invisible shrouds that were draped over your shoulders the moment you entered the world. You have lived so long under the weight of what has always been that you had forgotten how to stand straight, but I am realigning your spine with the rod of my truth. The specific curvature of your ancestral grief, that subtle stoop in the soul that made you feel small in the presence of others, is being straightened. I am looking into the deep, dark well of your lineage, back through the generations of those who lived in the shadow of the same ailment, the same restless mind, the same heart that beat with a frantic, inherited fear. I am speaking peace into that well. I am dropping the stone of my love into those depths, and the ripples are traveling backward and forward simultaneously, touching the ones who gave you life and the ones you will yet touch. Think of the way your mother looked when she thought no one was watching, the way your father carried his weariness like a tattered coat. I am taking that coat from you. I am replacing it with a garment woven from the light of 1,000 suns. This is the unlearning of the blood. I am going into the microscopic libraries of your cells, where the old stories were written in the ink of struggle and scarcity, and I am rewriting the script with the gold of my abundance. You will find that the triggers that used to send your heart into a frantic rhythm now lose their power. The situations that once drained your vitality will now find you insulated by a peace that passes understanding. I am changing the chemistry of your reactions. Where there was a predisposition to despair, I am planting a genetic hunger for joy. Where there was a weakness in the tissue, I am weaving in the strength of celestial fibers. You are not just a continuation of a human story. You are a new creation in a divine narrative. Do you feel the lightness in your chest? That is the space I am clearing. It was once filled with the ghosts of unfinished business, with the quiet apologies of ancestors who didn't know how to love you better because they didn't know how to love themselves. I have forgiven them for you, and I am teaching you how to let them go without losing the essence of who you are. You are the chosen vessel for this clearing. You are the one in whom the cycle breaks. This is why the path has felt so steep, why the wind has been so fierce against your face, because you are carrying the weight of centuries toward the summit of my grace. But now, the climb is changing. I am the wind at your back. I am the strength in your knees. Notice the small things first. The way you can breathe deeply without that familiar catch in your lungs. The way the morning light doesn't feel like an intrusion, but an invitation. I am healing the way you perceive time. You no longer need to rush to beat a deadline of decline. Your days are not numbered by the calendars of men or the statistics of medicine. They are measured by the infinite pulse of my heart. I am taking the inevitabilities that the world spoke over your family, the prophecies of sickness, the expectations of early endings, and I am casting them into the sea of forgetfulness. Look at your hands. They are no longer just the hands of your lineage. They are my hands, fashioned to build, to comfort, and to hold the blessings I am pouring out. There is a specific memory I want to touch, the one from your childhood where you first realized that you carried the same mark as those who came before you, that moment of quiet realization that you were bound to their fate. I am going back to that child. I am kneeling beside you in that moment of fear and whispering, not you. This story ends differently for you. I am pulling that memory out like a thorn and replacing it with a vision of a wide-open sea. Your life is not a closed loop. It is an ever-expanding spiral. We are moving into the architecture of your spirit now, renovating the rooms where the old family secrets used to hide. I am opening the shutters, letting in the air that smells of jasmine and new rain. I am scrubbing the floors of the stains of old regrets. Every corner of your being is being reclaimed for glory. Do not be afraid of the strangeness of this new health. It may feel unfamiliar to live without the crutch of your condition, to move through the world without the shield of your exhaustion. But I am here to steady you. I am teaching you how to walk in this new body, how to think with this new mind. We are just beginning to see the harvest of this transformation. The seeds of healing that I have planted in your marrow are beginning to send up green shoots. They are breaking through the hard ground of your history. Rest now in the rhythm of my breath. Let my heartbeat synchronize with yours until the two become one. There is no hurry, for we have all of eternity to perfect this beauty. Every cell in your body is now a sanctuary, a place where I dwell, and where I dwell, there can be no darkness, no decay, and no death. We are rewriting the very law of your existence, moving from the law of inheritance to the law of the spirit of life. Stay in this stillness with me, and feel the deep, quiet hum of restoration as it echoes through the halls of your history, turning every no of the past into a resounding yes for your future. Look now into the long gallery of your lineage, those rows of faces that stare back with eyes so like your own, yet clouded by the same persistent shadows. I am walking with you down this hall, pausing before each portrait. See your great-grandmother, the one whose name you carry like a whispered secret. Do you see the way she holds her shoulders, braced against a weight she could never quite name? That heaviness, that silent contraction in the chest, was the signature of the condition we are now dissolving. It was a phantom guest at every table, a thief that sat in the corner of every celebration. But I am placing my hand upon her image, and I am drawing out the sting of that ancient sorrow. As I heal you in this present moment, the ripples of my grace are traveling backward, soothing the frantic pulse of those who came before you. I am untying the knots in the silver cord of your ancestry. Every strand of your DNA is a sentence in a story that was written long ago, but I am the great editor, and I am striking through the lines of infirmity with a pen of light. The predisposition that once felt like a prison sentence is being rewritten into a predisposition for joy, a natural inclination toward vitality that will surprise even the most skeptical parts of your mind. I see the moments in your childhood when you watched the elders and wondered if their fate was your inevitable destination. The way you cataloged their limps, their lapses in memory, their sudden withdrawals into the dark. You were measuring the dimensions of your own future cage, but I am melting the bars of that cage before they can even solidify around you. Feel the heat of my presence moving through your circulatory system. I am flushing out the chemical signatures of fear that have been passed down like heirlooms from one generation to the next. You were never meant to be a warehouse for the trauma of the past. You were designed to be a conduit for the glory of the eternal. Imagine, for a moment, your blood not as a carrier of deficiency, but as a river of liquid gold, thick with the nutrients of heaven and the resilience of the stars. I am recalibrating the way your cells communicate with one another. Where there was once a frantic, garbled message of attack or decay, there is now a clear, melodic chorus of flourish and abide. I am the silence between your heartbeats, and in that silence I am resetting the rhythm of your life to match the cadence of paradise. Think of the specific tasks of your day, the simple act of lifting a cup, the way you climb the stairs, the focus required for your creative work. All of these things are being infused with a new ease. You will find yourself moving with a grace that feels borrowed at first, as if you are wearing a garment that is slightly too fine for your daily use. But soon, this garment will become your second skin. It will fit you perfectly, because it is the original design I had for you before the world added its heavy layers of expectation and inevitability. I am also addressing the mental maps you have inherited, the maps that told you where it was safe to go and where the family weakness would surely find you. I am tearing up those old charts. We are charting a new territory together, a land where the air is thin and sweet, and where the gravity of the past has no hold over your steps. Do you remember the specific fear that would grip you in the quiet hours of the night? That cold realization that you might be just like them. I am replacing that fear with a deep, marrow-deep knowing that you are mine. And because you are mine, you are defined by my nature, not by the mutations of the flesh. We are going deep into the mitochondria, the tiny powerhouses of your being, and I am breathing into them a new source of fuel. You will no longer run on the fumes of sheer willpower. You will run on the effortless energy of my spirit. This is why you feel a strange, bubbling lightness in your gut, a sensation that almost feels like butterflies, yet is steadier, more grounded. It is the sensation of the no being erased. I want you to see the kitchen of your childhood home, the place where the habits of this condition were unknowingly cultivated. I am entering that space, too. I am cleaning the cupboards of the food of bitterness and the wine of resignation. I am setting a new table for you, one where the bread is the bread of life and the drink is the living water. Every time you eat, every time you move, it is an act of defiance against the old law. You are a living testimony that the cycle can be broken, that the chain can be snapped, and that a single heart, turned fully toward me, can change the trajectory of an entire bloodline. Your children, and their children after them, will walk through doors that you are opening now with your willingness to be healed. They will not know the weight you once carried. They will only know the lightness of the inheritance you leave behind. This is the mystery of the cross and the crown, that I take the broken pieces of your history and forge them into a scepter of authority. You are not just being cured, you are being consecrated. You are becoming a holy place. Can you feel the specific vibration in your hands? They are being prepared for a new kind of work. They will no longer be hands that tremble with the uncertainty of the future, but hands that steady others, radiating the very peace that is currently being woven into your own flesh. We are not rushing this, my beloved. Every detail matters to me. Every single base pair in your genetic code is being polished until it reflects my image. Stay here in this warmth, where the old names for your pain are being forgotten, and my new name for your wholeness is being whispered into your very core. We are reclaiming the years the locusts have eaten, and in their place, I am planting a garden that will never wither. As you breathe in this moment, let the realization sink deep into your bones that you are the bridge between the old world and the new. Look at the way the light catches the dust motes in your living room. Even they are part of this orchestration. I am moving through the hallways of your history, extinguishing the lanterns of sorrow that were lit generations ago. Remember the way your father would sometimes look into the distance, haunted by a shadow he could not describe. That shadow was a biological echo, a distortion in the frequency of your lineage. I am reaching back into those dark corners, into the very atoms that formed his being and yours, and I am speaking a word of correction. It is a word that vibrates at the frequency of original intention. You see, when I first dreamt of your family, I did not dream of this infirmity. I dreamt of a line of lions, of creators, of people who carried the fire of my love without being consumed by it. We are returning to that blueprint. Can you feel the subtle shift in your joints? The way the stiffness of years is melting. This is not just muscle and sinew relaxing. It is the loosening of the spiritual knots that bound your ancestors. I am walking with you through the house of your memories, and where there was once a locked door labeled inherited burden, I am placing a key made of pure grace. We are sitting together at your small wooden table, the one with the scratch on the corner from when you moved in, and I am telling you that every meal you eat there is now a communion of health. The bread you tear and the tea you sip are being translated by your body into a language of restoration. I see you in the grocery store, choosing fruit, and I want you to know that your choices are being guided by a new instinct, a hunger for life that was buried under the weight of the old law. We are rewriting the story of your DNA, one letter at a time, replacing the not enough with more than conqueror. Think of the children who will play on your floor years from now. They will have your eyes and your smile, but they will not have the ghost of this sickness. They will run through the grass with lungs that expand fully, with hearts that beat in a steady, joyful cadence, never knowing the name of the monster we are slaying today. This is the beauty of our partnership. Your yes has given me the legal right to invade your biology with my glory. I am the great architect, and I am renovating the temple of your flesh. We are replacing the cracked foundations of anxiety with the solid stone of my promise. Notice the clarity coming into your mind. The mental fog that seemed to be a family trait, that pervasive cloud of confusion and forgetfulness, is being burned away by the sun of my righteousness. You are gaining a sharpness of spirit, a discernment that was dulled in your forebears. I am even touching the way you sleep. No longer will your nights be a battlefield of ancestral terrors. Your sleep will be sweet, a time of deep cellular repair where I do my most profound work while you simply rest in my arms. We are not just fixing a defect, we are enhancing the vessel. I am adding layers of resilience you did not know you needed. The garden I mentioned is not just a metaphor, it is the state of your soul. Every cell is a flower blooming in response to my voice. Can you hear it? The faint music of your own life, finally in tune with the heavens. Consider the loom of your existence. For generations, the weavers of your lineage used threads that were brittle, colored by the gray of endurance and the dark blue of silent suffering. They did their best, weaving patterns of survival and grit, but the fabric was always prone to tearing at the same spot. I have stepped into the weaver's seat now. I am not discarding the work they did, for their resilience is part of the strength you carry, but I am introducing a thread of indestructible gold. This thread is my own life, woven into the warp and weft of your being. It reinforces every weak point. It mends every ancient tear. As this new fabric is created, the old, brittle sections are being replaced. You are being reclothed in a garment of health that cannot be unraveled by time or chance. Think of your ancestors standing in a great hall watching you. They are not ghosts of the past, but witnesses to this moment. They are cheering as they see the chain, that heavy, rusted link that bound them, finally being dissolved by the acid of my grace. Your great-grandfather, who carried the bitterness of a body that failed him too soon, is seeing his redemption in your recovery. Your mother, who watched for symptoms with a bated breath, is finding rest in your wholeness. This healing is a multi-generational event. It is a cosmic recalibration. Now, focus on the very center of your brain, the place where thoughts are born. I am clearing the pathways of communication between your mind and your body. The signals of alarm that have been firing for decades are being silenced. I am replacing them with a steady signal of all is well. This is the peace that guards your heart and mind. I am even restructuring the way your body handles the environment around you. The toxins of the world, the stresses of the modern age, they will no longer find a foothold in your system. You are being made resilient, like a tree planted by rivers of water. Your leaves will not wither. You are learning to draw nutrients from a spiritual source that the world knows nothing about. When you walk through your neighborhood, notice the trees, the birds, the way the wind moves. You are part of this living symphony, but now you are finally in key. The dissonance of the genetic error is being resolved into a perfect chord. I am whispering names of wholeness into the marrow of your hips, into the fluid of your spine, into the chambers of your heart. Each name is a seed. These seeds will grow into a forest of well-being that will shade your descendants. I see you standing in your garden, or perhaps just looking at a plant on your windowsill, and I want you to see the miracle of growth that is happening within you. It is quiet, it is steady, and it is unstoppable. We are reclaiming the years, yes, but we are also claiming the future. We are setting a new standard for what is possible in your family. From this day forward, when people speak of your name, they will not speak of the family illness. They will speak of the family miracle. They will wonder at the vitality of your children and the peace that seems to radiate from your home. This is your inheritance. This is the crown I am forging from the broken pieces. You are becoming a living sanctuary, a place where the divine and the human meet in a perfect harmony of health. Do not be afraid of the depth of this change. It is what you were made for. It is the return to the garden, where sickness was a stranger and life was an eternal spring. Stay here with me. Let the warmth continue to permeate every layer of your consciousness. We are doing a deep work, a beautiful work, and it has only just begun. I am leaning into the spaces between your cells, those tiny voids where the echoes of the past used to resonate with a hollow, fearful sound. I am filling those gaps with a golden light that acts as both a glue and a song. Think of the lineage that preceded you, those faces in the faded photographs who carried the same heavy burden you thought was yours to keep. I see your grandfather's hands, the way they trembled as he reached for his glass, and the way your mother's eyes would cloud with a silent, resigned grief when she saw the same patterns beginning to manifest in you. That cycle is not just being paused, it is being unmade. I am traveling back through the corridors of time, visiting each of those souls, and letting them know that the debt of their DNA has been paid in full. I am folding the blueprint of your family's physical existence and smoothing out the creases where the paper was once torn. Can you feel the subtle shift in the way you breathe? It is as if the air itself has become more nourishing, as if every molecule is a messenger of my grace. I am rewriting the very syntax of your biological code. Where there was a period of finality, I am placing a comma, an invitation for more life, more strength, more vitality than your ancestors ever dared to dream of. I want you to remember that old wooden table in your family's kitchen, the one with the scratches and the rings from 1,000 coffee cups. That table has heard the whispered fears of 3 generations. It has felt the weight of elbows resting on it in moments of exhaustion. I am sanctifying that memory. I am turning the memory of that table into an altar of thanksgiving. The next time you sit down to eat, I want you to feel the solidity of your frame, the way your muscles hold you upright with a new, effortless power. This is not a temporary reprieve. This is a foundational reconstruction. I am working in the dark, quiet places of your marrow, where the blood is born. I am infusing the red and the white with the purity of the first morning in Eden. Your blood will no longer carry the signature of a defect. It will carry the signature of a miracle. It will flow through your veins like a river of liquid peace, washing away the residues of ancestral anxiety. I see the way you used to look in the mirror, searching for the first signs of the family curse, bracing yourself for the inevitable. Today, I want you to look into that same mirror and see a pioneer. You are the first of a new kind. You are the ancestor of a healthy line. The children who come from you and the children who come from them will hear stories of the old illness as if it were a myth from a distant land. They will not know the ache in the bones or the fading of the sight. They will only know the vigor of a body that is a true temple. I am placing my hands upon your shoulders, and I am pressing down with a weight that does not crush, but anchors. I am anchoring you in this new reality. Notice the small things today, the way the water feels against your skin, the vividness of the green in the leaves outside, the steady rhythm of your own heart. These are not just sensory experiences, they are confirmations. Each heartbeat is a hammer blow in the forge of your new life, strengthening the metal of your soul. I am taking the brokenness that was supposed to be your destiny, and I am using it as the raw material for a masterpiece of resilience. Do you remember the time you felt most vulnerable, perhaps as a child, watching a loved one struggle? I am going back to that child. You and I am holding their hand. I am telling that child, it stops here. You are safe. Your body is a sanctuary, not a prison. We are clearing the weeds from the family garden, pulling them up by the roots so they can never sprout again. This work is deep, reaching into the very atoms that compose your being. It is a slow, methodical restoration, like an artist cleaning a centuries-old painting until the original, vibrant colors emerge once more. You were always meant to be this vibrant. You were always meant to be this whole. The distortion was the lie. The health is the truth. Stay in this stillness with me. Let the warmth of my presence continue to dissolve the old structures. We are building something that will last for centuries, a legacy of light that begins in the secret chambers of your DNA and radiates outward until it touches every corner of your world. You are not just being healed, you are being hallowed. The path you walk will be different now. The ground will feel firmer beneath your feet because you are no longer walking for one. You are walking for all who came before and all who will come after. You are the bridge. And I am the one who holds the bridge steady as the old world falls away and the new one rises in its place. Feel the peace of it. There is no rush, no urgency, only the unfolding of a promise that was made before the stars were born. We are reclaiming your joy, one cell at a time. As we sit here in this holy silence, look back into the lineage of your blood. I see the faces you never met, the men and women who carried this same weight long before you were a whisper in the wind. I see the kitchens filled with the scent of cloves and wood smoke, where your great-grandmother sat, her hands trembling with the same tremor you recognize, or her heart heavy with the same inexplicable fatigue that once threatened to pull you under. She didn't have the words for it then. She called it her cross to bear, a silent passenger in her veins. I was there with her in that kitchen, just as I am here with you now. I felt her sigh as she looked out the window at a sunset she was too tired to name as beautiful. But the veil was thick then, the path through the blood untraveled. Today, that veil is being torn from top to bottom. I am placing my thumb upon the scroll of your ancestry, right at the beginning of the ink, and I am tracing the line down to you. Where the ink was smudged by grief, where the script was distorted by a genetic echo of lack or fragility, I am smoothing it out. I am dipping the quill into the light of the first sunrise and rewriting the ending of this chapter. Listen to the rhythm of your heart. It is no longer beating out the heavy, frantic cadence of the old fear. It is drumming the song of the pioneer. I am moving through the corridors of your marrow, clearing the soot from the lamps that were dimmed by the breath of ancestors who lived in survival mode. Think of the house where your mother grew up, the shadows in the corners, the unspoken illnesses that were treated as shameful secrets or inevitable fates. I am walking through that house now, opening every window, letting the stale air of decades blow out into the infinite. I am painting the walls with the gold of this present moment. The story is changing from one of what we must endure to what we are free to become. This is not a fast process, for the roots went deep into the soil of time, but every breath you take now is drawing in a different kind of life. You are breathing in the oxygen of a new era. Your cells are waking up, blinking in the new light, wondering at the absence of the old, familiar weight. Tell them it is okay to let go. Tell your blood it is safe to be pure. Tell your bones they are pillars of strength, not brittle echoes of a past collapse. We are weaving a new tapestry, using threads of resilience and joy that have been waiting in the storehouse of your soul for this very hour. Can you see the colors? They are not the muted grays of the struggle. They are the blues of a clear sky and the greens of a forest after the first rain. You are the garden, and I am the gardener who has never left your side. We are planting something here that will never wither. It is a health that is not just the absence of illness, but the presence of a vivid, electric vitality that radiates from your center. Stay with me. Let the warmth move into your hands, into your feet, into the very crown of your head. We are washing away the dust of 1,000 years. You are becoming as clear as a mountain stream. I want you to see the children who will come from your line, whether they are children of the flesh or children of your spirit and work. They are standing in the sunlight you are creating right now. They will never know the shadow that you knew. They will walk with a lightness that will seem natural to them, never knowing the price you paid to clear the path. And that is the beauty of this sacrifice. You are the one who stood in the gap. You are the one who said, "No further." And because you said it, the universe has rushed to support you with a force you can only begin to fathom. You are held. You are cherished. You are being remade in the image of your original design before the first shadow ever fell upon your family tree. Feel the weight of my hand on your shoulder, steady and eternal. We are just beginning to see the beauty of what is emerging from the wreckage of the old patterns. There is so much more to uncover, so many more layers of radiance to reveal. Remember that time you looked in the mirror and saw a ghost of someone else's pain in your own eyes? Look again now. That ghost is gone. In its place is a clarity that belongs only to you, a spark that was never inherited but was always your own, waiting for the clutter of the past to be cleared away. This light is not something you have to earn. It is who you are when the distortions are gone. As we move deeper into the chambers of your heart, notice how the air feels thinner, purer. We are climbing a mountain that your ancestors only looked at from the valley. With every step you take in this meditation, you are lifting them with you. They are no longer a weight around your neck. They are the wind beneath your wings, cheering for the one who finally broke the cycle. Can you hear them? A stadium of souls, whispering your name in gratitude. You are the answer to a prayer that was whispered 200 years ago by a woman you will only meet in eternity. You are her victory. You are the living proof that grace is stronger than biology. Stay in this warmth. Let it saturate the very atoms of your being until you cannot tell where you end and the light begins. Now, let us descend even further, past the layers of your skin and the beating of your physical heart, into the very architecture of your cells. Visualize the DNA within you, those delicate, spiraling ladders that have carried the stories of 1,000 years. For generations, these strands have been etched with a particular script, a repeating melody of imbalance that felt like an inescapable law. You felt it in the way your joints echoed a pain that wasn't yours, or in the way your breath caught in a rhythm of anxiety that seemed to belong to a forest fire from centuries ago. I was there when you sat at your kitchen table at midnight, tracing the lines in your palm and wondering if you were merely a puppet of your biology, waiting for the same clock to strike for you that struck for those who came before. But look closer now. My light is moving like a gentle, golden ink between those spirals. I am not just repairing the cracks, I am returning the code to its original frequency. I see that specific fear you held, the one you kept secret even from yourself, that you would pass this heaviness down like a rusted heirloom to the children who carry your smile. Watch as that fear dissolves. I am untying the knots that have bound your lineage in a loop of suffering. Think of your grandmother's hands, the ones that perhaps shook with a tremor she could never name. I am reaching back through time to steady those hands in your memory, and as I do, I am steadying your own. You are the pivot point of history. The room you are sitting in right now is becoming a sanctuary where the laws of physics and the laws of spirit are merging. Remember the way the sunlight hit the floorboards in your childhood home, and how you felt a strange, inexplicable sorrow even then. That sorrow was the weight of a debt you didn't owe. I am canceling that debt. Every cell in your body is now being bathed in an ocean of newness. It is a slow, methodical infusion of grace. We are going into the bone marrow, into the secret places where your blood is born, and we are declaring a new sovereignty. You are no longer a colony of the past. You are an independent kingdom of light. Feel the tension leaving your jaw, a tension that was perhaps 100 years old, a clenching against a storm that has finally passed. I want you to see yourself walking through a garden where every flower represents a member of your family tree. For so long, some of these flowers have been wilted, touched by the same blight. But as you walk among them, your very presence, the presence of one who has been healed, is turning the soil into gold. You are not just a recipient of this miracle, you are its conduit. Can you feel the specific warmth in your lower back or the cooling sensation behind your eyes? These are the physical markers of a spiritual restructuring. I am replacing the why with I am. You used to ask why this burden was yours to carry, and now the answer is clear, because you were the only one strong enough to lay it down. Let us linger here in the quiet vibration of this transformation. You might feel a slight tingling in your fingertips, as if you are touching the edge of a new world. This is not a temporary relief. This is a foundational shift. The ghost of the ailment that once defined your family's story is being replaced by a narrative of resilience and divine health. We are looking at the blue-eyed girl from 4 generations ago who died too young, and we are telling her that her song is finally being finished through you. We are looking at the man who lost his way in a fog of inherited darkness, and we are showing him the light that you have become. You are the lighthouse for your ancestors. As we go deeper, I want you to recognize that this healing is not a destination, but an unfolding. There is no part of your physical body that is off limits to this radiance. It is saturating your nervous system, teaching it a new language of peace. Think of the most joyful moment you have ever experienced, perhaps a simple afternoon by the water or the sound of a loved one's laughter. I am taking the essence of that joy and making it the baseline of your existence. No longer will you have to fight to reach the surface of well-being. You will float upon it. Your biology is being retuned to the frequency of the eternal. You are the living evidence that the story can change in a single generation. You are the break in the clouds. Let the silence of this moment speak to you. It is telling you that you are safe, that you are whole, and that the shadows of your lineage have no more power over the dawn of your soul. We are just getting to the center of the miracle. Stay with me, breathe with me, and watch as the old maps of pain are replaced by a geography of pure, unadulterated grace. As we drift further into this quiet center, I want you to feel the very marrow of your bones, the secret laboratory where your life is forged anew every second. Observe, with the eyes of your spirit, the microscopic architecture of your being. Within the spiraling ladders of your DNA, there have been rooms locked for centuries, dusty corridors where the echoes of ancient sorrows were kept on repeat. We are walking through those corridors now, not as visitors, but as the master of the house. I am handing you a key made of pure, liquid light. Feel the warmth of it in your palm. We are going back to the moment the mutation first whispered itself into your lineage, perhaps during a long-forgotten winter of scarcity or a season of profound, unmourned grief. We are finding that original wound, the one that caused the cell to forget its divinity and learn the language of survival at all costs. I am standing with you in that small, sun-drenched kitchen of your childhood memory, the one with the scarred wooden table and the smell of toasted bread and old floor wax. You remember the way the air always felt heavy with things unsaid, the way your mother's hands would tremble just slightly as she poured the tea, a silent signal of the inheritance she didn't know how to refuse. That quiet, persistent exhaustion that shadowed her footsteps, I am reaching into that memory and lifting the veil. I am showing you that her burden was never meant to be your destination. Look at your own hands now. They are not hers, they are yours, and they are mine. I am placing a golden seal upon your brow, a mark of divine exemption. The family trait is being dissolved in a sea of mercury and radiance. We are speaking to the very first cell that faltered. We are telling it, the war is over. The famine is finished. You are no longer required to carry the weight of the world. You are allowed to thrive. Can you feel the subtle shift in your pulse? It is no longer a drum of anxiety or a countdown. It is a song of arrival. Your ancestors are gathering in the gallery of your mind, a vast stadium of souls stretching back to the beginning of time. They are not here to haunt you with their ailments. They are here to witness the miracle of your liberation. They are shedding their own heavy, tattered cloaks of illness as they watch you walk through the fire unscathed. They are cheering, a silent, thunderous roar of ancestral pride, because you are doing what they could not. You are turning the lead of their suffering into the gold of your presence. Let us move deeper into your nervous system, into the branching pathways of the vagal nerve, where the fight or flight of 1,000 years has been stored like static on a wire. I am breathing a cool, indigo mist into these pathways. I am smoothing the jagged edges of your body's response to the world. You do not have to be on guard anymore. The threat that your bloodline has been scanning for, the sudden heart stop, the inevitable decline, the clouded mind, is being deleted from the hard drive of your soul. Imagine the relief of a clock that has been ticking too fast for an eternity suddenly finding the perfect, rhythmic swing of the universe. That is what is happening in your chest right now. Every beat is a declaration of independence. You are not a sequel to their pain. You are a brand new book. We are looking at the specific chemical markers, the biological signatures of that which was called inevitable. We are watching them turn translucent, then transparent, until they vanish into the brilliance of your true nature. You are the architect of a new anatomy. Think of the garden you always wanted to plant, the one with the lavender and the tall sunflowers, or the mountain trail you feared your body would never let you climb. Those visions are not fantasies. They are the blueprints of your restored vitality. I am weaving the scent of crushed cedar and the clarity of high mountain air into your lungs. You are breathing for the ones who gasped. You are standing tall for the ones who were bent. This is the holy alchemy of the heart. We are not just fixing a body. We are redeeming a history. Every cell in your body that learns to vibrate with the frequency of "I am well" sends a signal backward, and forward through the fabric of time. You are healing your grandmother in her youth. You are healing the children of your children before they are even a thought. The curse was only a story told in the dark, and the sun has just crested the horizon. Feel the weight of your body on the earth and realize that the planet itself is rising up to support this transformation. You are a child of the stars and the soil, and both are conspiring for your wholeness. Stay in this heat, this radiant warmth that is currently focused on the base of your spine, rising like a slow, steady tide of honey. It is filling every gap, every void where the fear of getting what they had used to live. That fear is being replaced by a profound, unshakable knowing. A knowing that you are the exception, the bridge, the holy anomaly. And as we descend even further into the velvet stillness of your cellular consciousness, I want you to listen to the sound of your own life force. It is no longer a whisper, it is a symphony. We are entering the sanctuary of the marrow, the holy of holies where your blood is made. We are whispering to the stem cells, giving them new instructions. Build for beauty, build for strength, build for a century of laughter. You are being remade in the image of the eternal, and the old maps of your family tree are being rewritten in ink made of starlight. Do not hurry. This is a sacred carving of a new reality. The silence here is pregnant with possibility. It is the silence of a seed cracking open in the dark, preparing to become a mighty oak. You are that oak, and your roots are now drinking from the well of infinite, unadulterated health. We are just beginning to see the true scale of the landscape that is opening up before you, a world where your name is synonymous with victory.